Hello YouTube, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. It is Monday night, November 9th, 2015. So you know what that means. It's time for some Raw. So, it is 1 week removed, well not exactly 1 week removed, since the event, well about a couple of days removed, since Seth Rollins suffered a career-threatening injury at a live event in Dublin, Ireland. So now the WWE title is vacant. How are they going to deal with this? Got my notes. Let's find out. We open with Triple H talking about the vacant title, which is in the ring, and talks up Seth Rollins. The London crowd, or English crowd, they're in Great Britain this week, talks about, they talk about how awesome Seth Rollins was as a champion. I wouldn't say he was the greatest champion we've had in a while, but he was certainly very, very good. And the fans show their appreciation and respect, hope, and sends their get well wishes to Seth Rollins. Hope he get better. So, as for who should become the new champion, well, as announced last week, there will be, leading up to Summer Survivor Series, a tournament, a 16-man tournament to decide who will be the new World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, Trips couldn't talk about this without bringing out Roman Reigns, the former new number one contender. You can't be a number one contender for a title that's vacant. So, he puts on the spiel, talks about Roman pretty well, says he was scouting him since the days of when Evolution was facing off against The Shield. And at one point even offers to say, hey, you don't have to work this tournament, you can get a whole bye for the whole thing, and everyone will have to be wrestling to face you. Just join the dark side. And of course Roman says, fuck you, eat a dick, go die. And Triple H is like, well, you fucked up, face the Big Show. And we go into our first matchup of the great WWE Shinkai Budokai Tournament to determine the new World Heavyweight Champion. The first match, Roman Reigns versus Big Show. We didn't like it before, we don't like it now. I know that of course this is just to make Roman Reigns look strong, but here's the thing. We're tired of it. We don't want to see more Big Show matches against Roman Reigns. We get it. He's big, the biggest athlete in the world, blah, blah, blah. The match went on far too long than it had any right to be. In the end, Roman wins because Big Show don't matter. Sorry to say, but he just don't matter. Next up, we go to something better. Our second in the qualifiers for the Budokai tournament. Kevin Owens, the Intercontinental Champion, defends against one half of the primetime players, Titus O'Neil. I kind of question why a tag wrestler would be in this tournament at all, but they needed bodies, and well, I guess he'd be kind of legitimate in this regard. But I gotta say, as far as tournaments go, I'm glad it's 16, because if it was 8, it would feel too small. If it was 32, it would feel too bloated, like they just threw bodies at it. 16 is a sweet number for a tournament, whether in real life or in fiction. It's just the right amount of competitors to make it feel competitive. So anyway, Kevin Owens versus Titus O'Neil. I like you, Titus. You're a great father, but unfortunately, this was Kevin Owens' time to win. After cutting a brilliant promo, contrary to what some people believe, Kevin Owens wins, and he moves on to the next round. Now, keep in mind, the winners of these matches tonight don't necessarily face off against each other since they're doing it in an irregular pattern. So, I think Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns are in different brackets, so they're not going to face each other. So there's that. Next up, we got a Divas match. And no Bellas, mostly because Nikki Bella suffered a neck injury. So I give her shit, I give her and her sister shit, but honestly, I don't kind of wish no injury on someone like that to fuck with their livelihood. So get better, Nikki. Anyway, we got Becky versus Paige. Very solid matchup. The crowd was hot for Paige because Becky was awesome tonight. Or as my friend Griffin would say, she is Bexcellent. He started that, not me. Anyway, this was a good match. Thankfully, because I'm burnt out on the Bellas, and this was a very, very refreshing match to have. And Becky surprisingly picks up a win by doing the cheat thing that Paige tried to do. She wins, but Paige didn't have that shit. Throws her over the table and puts her in the PTO. Charlotte comes out, breaks it up, and Paige walks out the conquering hero because they're in England and, well, she's a Brit. So anyway, next matchup for the Budokai tournament, we have the show off Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. This is a very solid matchup. Miz doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's actually pretty solid in the ring, except for when he goes for the figure four, which is pretty damn sloppy. But this was a very, very solid matchup. Ziggler wins. He really needed this win because after that whole mess with Rusev, he needs to get some credibility back. Next up, Alberto Del Rio cuts a promo. He doesn't have a match tonight because his match will be on SmackDown. That's right. All the matches are going to happen did not happen tonight on Raw. Some of them are taking place on SmackDown. We only have 3 more matches left after tonight, and I'm kind of glad for this. It kind of just to be able to stretch it out to 2 nights on 2 shows for the week just makes it feel bigger and more important. If they had tried to squeeze in all the matches, the first round matches in one night, it would feel rushed. But this one seems a lot of people say this is not good booking because the WWE worked themselves into a corner by not building up a main event roster, but I will not fault them for this. They did what they had. They fucked up, and they knew that they didn't have much, but they did the best they could with what they had. So I'm happy for this. This tournament is exactly what they needed, and it's booked properly. But anyway, Ziggler wins. Like I said, I'm rambling. ADR pulls out a promo, says that he pretty much rips the British crowd a new one. Next up, we have another Divas match. Natalya versus Naomi. And Natty brings up the point that people want Sasha. Why? Because Sasha Banks is fucking awesome. This was a good match. Not as good as Paige Becky, but good in its own regard. And thankfully, no rear view. Naomi tries it, didn't land it, which I'm happy for, and Natty pulls out the win, but then Sasha comes in, busts her ass, and puts her in a bank statement. Can't wait for Natty versus Sasha. Next up, Sheamus, Mr. Money in the Bank, takes on the Swiss Superman, Cesaro, in another Budokai tournament matchup. This was probably the best tournament match of the night. Cesaro and Sheamus often have good chemistry together. This match just signifies not only that they work a great match, but the real message here is Vince, push Cesaro. What more do you need? Push this man. He looked fantastic, and the fans loved him. He was hot tonight. But yeah, there was also a little side story between Barrett, a member of the EU, along with Sheamus, having some row with a guy. I'm not really into soccer, or football as they call it. I'm not really into it, but there was this soccer guy, and he was in the front row, and him and Barrett have been having a Twitter war, but it's okay. It didn't really distract much the match, because this match was fantastic. Cesaro was on point tonight. But I will give that guy credit. I don't know his name, but I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. But Barrett gets in his face, and he lays into him with a slap that I would say is a pimp slap. Not a backhand, but just the kind of slap you see a pimp give a hooker who didn't have his money. Just, where's my money? But yeah, Cesaro picks up the win. He moves on, and he will be facing, we already know who he'll be facing in the next round, Roman Reigns. And Lord knows that's going to be a hell of a match to book, because I know they're trying to push Roman as the next big face of the company. But right now, Cesaro is fucking hot. Hotter than Roman is. And there is no way on God's green earth that Roman Reigns is going to be more over than Cesaro at this point. Substantially, not only will he not get that many cheers, but I suspect he will get a lot of boos, especially if he wins. So just look forward to that. Next up, the final match for the night, for the first round of the for the Budokai tournament. Dean Ambrose versus Tyler Breeze in his debut match. That's right. This is Tyler Breeze's first match since moving up to the main roster. Now, this was a very short match. It was pretty good. My problem with it is, it's because I like both of these guys. I love Tyler Breeze and I love Dean Ambrose. This is the things I love and hate about tournaments, wrestling tournaments, because oftentimes they will have that match where your two of your fan favorites are in the same bracket, in the same match. You love them both, but you don't want to see both of them, one of them lose. It's hard to pick. This was a sad match for me to watch. Not because it was bad, but because I like these guys. There was a spot at the match where Dean goes for a flying drop kick and lands on his shoulder. I don't know if that he just did that as it worked. I don't know if it was a stinger. I don't know if he's legitimately injured, but I hope not, because I don't want to see another great in-ring competitor being taken out by an injury. So I hope it's not that bad. But anyway, in the end, Dean wins it with a roll-up. Figured they had to end it early because he looked like he was legitimately injured. So I really hope it's nothing serious. I just hope it was a stinger. Like, a stinger is basically a really sharp nerve injury where it just feels like you were really, really hurt, but it's just a lot of pain. I've had stingers before, and it's not fun. So I hope it's nothing serious. So anyway, there's that. Next up, New Day versus Neville and the Usos. Fun fact, every person in this match has been on an episode or episodes of Up, Up, Down, Down. That's right. Love that show. This was a great tag team match. Nice to break up all the single tournament matches we've had tonight. New Day wins because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. You got that. And finally, we go to the big moment of the night. Bray Wyatt eulogizes the Brothers of Destruction. All night we've been having little vignettes about the Brothers of Destruction. We've had Kane's debut at Hell in a Cell. We had Undertaker's debut at Survivor Series, which is going to be 25 years since that time, at this year's Survivor Series. Them getting world championships, them doing some crazy shit, their great returns, all this other stuff. Bray comes out, talks about how he destroyed them both, and that the end is near, the apocalypse has arrived. But just as he was about to say, follow the buzzers, boom, Undertaker and Kane come out to a raucous applause, and my God, it was awesome. They get in the ring, but then lights go out, the Wyatt family comes in, but Brothers of Destruction are ready for them. Luke Harper, Eric Roman, eat double choke slams. Big baby face McGee, aka Braun Strowman, tries to do a double clothesline on him, but they both do the sit-up, and they lay him out on the table. And then they turn their attention to Bray Wyatt and lay him out with a double choke slam. And they leave, and we're just going to see that this is just the beginning. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say that this is a waste, that they call this tournament bullshit because Bray Wyatt was not in it. Look, as I and several others will say this about this whole situation, Bray Wyatt is currently feuding with The Undertaker. Yeah, that takes precedent. He is being given the rub by perhaps the greatest wrestler to ever step foot in the ring. A man whose legacy stretches back a quarter of a century. A man who has faced off against more Hall of Famers and more legends than anyone else, and is still active in this industry. And for him who at this point in his career only is active around WrestleMania, to spend this time to push up this young up-and-comer like Bray Wyatt and his Wyatt family, that's more important than the WWE title. He can go after the title anytime he goddamn wants. He's getting the rub from the fucking dead man. So yeah, I'm not mad that he's not in this tournament. So I'm just happy that he's getting some time. He's actually getting the push and the exposure and the writing that he deserves. And what's better than working with The Undertaker and Kane and whoever they're going to pick for their team? Because you know there's going to be a Survivor Series style match. You know it. But anyway, that's the show. My thoughts? It had a slow beginning, but it really got better after that. The first promo with Triple H was good, but it dragged a little bit. That first match with Big Show and Roman Reigns was worst match of the night. It was dragging, it was plotting, it was slow, and we already knew Roman was going to win, so it just felt pointless. The other tournament matches were okay to great. And we had two good Divas matches, nice tag team match, and we've had some progression in the Bray Wyatt Undertaker Kane storyline. So we have to see more of that. So anyway, that's my video. You like what you see? Link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions, comments, or just want to talk about this show? Leave it below. I'll get back to you. Also, question for you guys. After seeing the entire brackets as well as the beginning matches, who do you? I'll make this. Who do you see winning the world title tournament, and who do you want to win this world title tournament? We got a pretty good crop of guys. So, who do you want to win? Who do you see winning? Leave it below. I'll mention you in the next video. Also, I'll leave my Twitter in the bottom if you want to respond to me personally. Also, Patreon is in the link. Doesn't require much. All you have to do is you can donate $1 if you want per month. It doesn't matter. It helps me live. Tip jar is up there, right up there. So, that's the video. So until next time, it's been shintigercurl. That dude in the straw hat saying good night. And so begins the Budokai.